New Baki season is finally out. We waited around a year to see Hanma Baki again and we got what we wanted. But this season was at least as good as the previous one? Let's find it out. The season is starting with Yujiro killing a giant elephant which even tanks could not damage, typical Yujiro behavior. Then Baki befriended the young boy, who will be needed only to comment on Baki's imaginary fight against the giant praying mantis, in which young Hanma Dreamer surely came out the winner. After that, Baki decided that the best way for him to become stronger before his fight against Yujiro is to fight Oliva, the strongest guy in the USA. But not just meet him on the street how a normal person would probably do. In the Baki's head, the best way to fight Oliva is to go to the prison where Oliva lives. But how? By kidnapping the USA president, of course, but not from his home or something, from a freaking parade with tons of people watching as well as hundreds of armed bodyguards securing their bus. As we already know, all that in Baki's mind comes to reality, so he easily kidnapped the president and with a cup of a coffee nicely asked Bosch to send him to Arizona prison.
And what happens if I don't accept your demands?
Well, then things would have to get physical. You'd live, of course.
All right, I concede to your demands.
In the prison, Baki greeted Oliva, but Unchained does not want to fight him, cause he will fight with the second strongest in the prison soon. In his cell, Baki meets an already forgotten character from Maximum Tournament, boxer Iron Michael, who once for some reason was imprisoned. And of course in his cell was imprisoned the second strongest guy who will fight Oliva. It was a pirate who created his own country on an island and bullied the USA president. His name is Jun Guevara, an anime version of Che Guevara. This guy could do anything he wants in the prison, like walking around, stealing cigarettes or a gun from the guards, and beat other arrogant prisoners when he wants to. One night, three identical guys who finish each other's sentences
Then it must mean that you're in a real
fix.
were sent to punish Iron Michael, so he could not return to the boxing ring when he gets out of the prison. And they would succeed in that task, if not Jun rolled in to save his cellmate. He just peed on them and they ran away in fear of his pirate ring with much salt in it. The next day, Jun and Oliva exchanged pleasantries and teach Baki that you do not interfere with elders when they're talking.
Stop making kissy faces and bragging about
After they talk, Oliver ran away because he forgot to turn off the kettle. Turning off the kettle, Oliva came on a date with his beautiful girlfriend who really likes Oliva.
You're a loser! You gluttonous brute, raging narcissist, ungrateful child! Absolute moron! Womanizer! Complete imbecile! Total piece of garbage!
Then he brings her to see his fight against Jun. The fight was really cool. They played with the handkerchief, punch each other, with the smell of his own fart from the bottle Jun enters the sign mode, but even that is not enough to overpower the power of America, and Oliva nailed him like a fly. A few days later, after peeing on Baki's head, Oliva finally agreed to fight the young boy. The fight was better than the previous one, a lot of walls and doors were destroyed, Oliva even turned into a ball, Baki was slammed to the floor a lot of times, but it was not enough to overpower the power of Japan, and a small Japanese boy pushed back America by himself. So Baki defeated the strongest man in America and just went back home to Tokyo from America on a bike. Also at the end of the last episode, Pickle was showed, a creature who will be the main antagonist of the next season.
A transparent salt deposit 1,000 meters thick, formed 190 million years ago. The excavators working there had come to a halt and were just standing still, unable to believe what they saw in front of their eyes.
So what could I say? To be fair, the season was pretty boring. The overall plot was fun and all that prison life that was shown was good, I like that. But we had a really small amount of fights and the ones we get were not really interesting. Like really, what fights do we get in that season? Baki versus his thick imagination, Iron Michael versus Mouse, it was just a beating, not an actual fight. June against the Mouse, even though it was not a fight but more like an anecdote, but I liked it. June versus Oliva was boring for me and Oliva versus Baki was okay, but it could be better. June against random prisoner was not even a fight, just an interesting moment. That's all fights we get from this season, a really small amount of fights per season for anime like Baki. For example, in the previous season, 2 fights per episode or even more. That was nice. I'm not even talking about the maximum tournament season, it was just a fight after a fight after a fight. But for sure the next season will include more fights and more cool moments, cause finally Pickle will appear and start to destroy everything. What do you think about this season? It was boring or okay? Leave your comments down below, leave a like and subscribe for more. I hope this video was interesting to you, thank you for watching, bye.
Total piece of garbage!
Me and none of them not travel for any trip. In the seat of corruption, me say me sit. Look like from corruption, them a benefit.